Excellent. Live and not Minimarex. Oh, I've got some, but thank you. Doggone it.
Well, give me a
get
cup of
him
coffee.
one.
I'll take one. The latte with 2 creamers in it. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just as long as it's not decaf. I don't know who came up with decaf coffee.
People who just dig the feel of drinking coffee.
Yep.
Hello.
We are on. We're always on.
We're always on. Yeah.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning to the crew.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Charles is going to bring us in with some big fat fun from the outside.
Fat fun.
From the outside.
Whoop, whoop. Big fat fun. Whoop, whoop.
Good times. Ah, yo. Got a fun mask. Okay. What time are we meeting at 7:30 tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if you can get up here, I'm going to be here super early.
Okay.
Because I'm afraid of all that stuff.
And
so I want to make sure I'm on
called
it.
technology.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like to practice with Charles today is the going live part.
Okay. I mean, I've got to have him. I want to be able to upload the music for Gail. I want to be able to upload all the Kilroy's conversation stuff.
Yes.
I want to
like all that today. Yes.
And then so we
Agree.
can just go kaboom, kaboom. Good morning, Dr.
Good
Good.
morning.
Everybody else jump on the YouTube. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Cleo.
Yeah, Cleo, are
Yes.
you talking about
The
President
president
Trump and the
and
First
his
Lady?
First Lady.
Just, God bless them, praying for them. When I saw that text message come through last night, I immediately
They're saying no symptoms
started
so far.
prayer. No, actually, the president does have some symptoms.
Oh, he does
Yeah,
now?
I heard that on a report this morning. Yeah.
On 820 WBAP this morning, they said he didn't have any, but his wife had started to feel a little like she had a little bit of a flu.
Well, then maybe I'd heard her. One of them had symptoms.
Yeah, she
Had some symptoms, nothing bad.
and so she's quarantined herself automatically.
Yeah, they are both on quarantine. He'll probably still. I guarantee you, he'll still do video things.
Oh yeah.
You know, I would imagine,
Well,
unless he's feeling really, really bad. Which I hope he's not.
And the doctor for 3 other presidents said that this whole 14-day deal is for people who are asymptomatic. He said as long as he gets 2 free tests or 2 negative tests.
Afterwards, that you're good.
Yep.
Huh? Are we on?
We're on, but the music.
Oh, hello. We've been entertaining ourselves.
Okay. Top news. Of course, Chrissy Teigen, and they lose their baby.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers, but I do. That does break my heart.
And Mariah Carey is in the news.
Oh, what's she doing now? Oh, what's she doing?
The biggest bombshells from her memoirs,
Oh, is she writing
telling her side of the story
for what?
after
Her being a diva?
Uh-huh.
Because she's always accused of that. Sports and entertainment today.
Big time. Oh, hello there.
Okay.
Got to be. Oh.
See, I don't keep up with any of that anymore.
Are you kidding me?
I used to watch all of that when I was younger, and then they got so ridiculous that I'm like, goodbye.
I'm going to let everybody in on a secret. I
What?
didn't even know anything about entertainment news until now.
Yeah, until you pull it up. Oh, by the way, this is off the cuff. So, if it's music, I can give you some stuff. If it's an actor
Trevor,
or an
good morning.
actress I like,
Marguerite, good morning.
I can do that. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Good. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Marguerite. Oh, sing it, Kathy. Yeah, no, not so much. So, Dr. Good, what time is sports? I'll be busy then.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, we're going to leave you hanging, so you can just just tune us out at the last minute. No. Good morning, Trevor. Oh, and then when is it? October 30th? Is that when we're doing the debate with Shelley Luther?
October 20th. October
20th with Shelley Luther and with Drew Springer, who are in a runoff for SD 12. So JP and I will be moderating. JP and I will be moderating that debate, and hopefully we will be in control.
Oh, we will be in control.
It's we're
going to shut microphones off.
I was going to say we're going to have this. Well, here's what I'm saying. Now I don't know how they're going to have it set up, but we do handheld mics since there's two of us. You and I go from one person has a mic, the other person has a mic. One person has a mic, the other person has a mic.
Yeah, that remedies that.
And then there's nobody can forget anything. It's all good.
All right, sharing out right now.
Good morning.
Share, and share some more. I want to thank all of our groups that allow us to share to them as well.
Yes, we appreciate that.
The message.
Charles is getting you fresh coffee, JP.
I'm excited about that.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun. While I'm sharing, if you will share to the crew, that would be fantastic. Share to your groups. Share to your friends. Get people on the feed.
We would love it.
Get them over there to YouTube.
Do it like the watch party. Do a watch party.
Do a watch party. That would be
fun.
Fantastic. Big fat fun.
Big fat fun.
Do. All right, sharing and sharing some more. Lots of sharing. Somehow I've got a group on here called We Got Married. I don't know where that came from.
Probably from you performing marriages as a JP,
is that what
maybe?
It is? Maybe.
Sounds kind of fun.
Sounds kind of fun. All right.
There you go.
There we go. We are shared out. Uh-oh, here he comes. Here comes the Charles.
I hear Charles.
And is that my coffee?
I can smell that. That smells
really good. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Whoop, whoop.
Hashtag that.
I even gave you ready. Ready? Here you go. This is for you. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's for you, Charles. Go Aggie Land.
Good morning. I knock my microphone off.
Good hot coffee. All right. So here we go, Charles. Get our intro played and let's get this show on the road.
All right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Live from VentureX Studios in Frisco, Texas. It's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Hey, good morning, the crew. Oh, your mic is back off again.
Killing me, man. Why do you always turn our microphones off when we're about to talk, dude?
I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I hit the one next to it.
All right. Well, happy Friday to the crew. We are so super excited. There you go. We are so super excited. You have chosen to basically kick off your weekend with us. Hope you enjoyed the primetime players last night.
They were good.
Those kids are so crazy talented. They literally could take the place of Saturday Night Live. So bravo, Crystal.
Punchline players.
Punchline players. Thank you. Punchline players. Thank you so much. So bravo to Crystal and her talented crew because they are just that's a great show.
On Thursday,
yeah,
7
every
o'clock.
Thursday at 7 o'clock. Oh, and I love it. Charles
preceded
started
by her with
yes.
Dr. Good. Ask Dr. Be Good at
there
6
you go.
p.m.
So in the way that preceded by, yes. I was like, wait a second.
Well, and preceded by
so,
the lawyer show from 12 to 1.
Yeah, so we've got the lawyer show, we've got Dr. Good, and then what Charles did last night, and I thought it was a great idea, he's playing, because it's a 30-minute entertainment show done by Creative Arts for Christ, the Punchline Players, and so he's running it back-to-back live. Looping it. So you can get it either at 7 to 7:30 or 7:30 to 8. So that worked out because I was a few minutes late tuning in. So I just stayed on the feed and went right back into the beginning skits. So Good stuff. Good stuff.
So, big day. First of all, lots of in entertainment news.
Can y'all comment on our Facebook Live page?
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I can't comment. I can't see comments, swipe comments. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I think I can. We'll have Charles check it here in a minute. He's busy. He's being busy.
He's being technical.
He's being technical.
He's technical. Okay, sorry.
So
entertainment news. Lots.
Of entertainment, or speaking of technical, let's get technically entertaining, because we're lacking that.
Sure, there's that.
There's that. But no, in all seriousness, in entertainment news, we're going to lead off with the president.
Yes.
President Donald Trump, there's an aide that comes up positive for COVID-19. And in the testing of President Trump and his wife, they have both come up positive for COVID-19 as well.
Yes.
The First Lady has shown some signs of being sick. So she quarantined immediately before even getting her test results back. I'm being told, and Kathy, I think, may have caught something maybe different, that says that the president isn't showing any signs.
See, and I thought I heard that he was, but don't quote me on that. Well, really, the main thing is, and I tell you, if I see anybody who puts anything nasty out on social media about the president having the coronavirus, I literally think I'll lose my flipping mind.
It's coming.
I think I will lose my mind. I already had several friends who I was on their feed this morning, and they had posted things like, if you post anything negative or derogatory about the president and the first lady having COVID-19, I will delete you as a friend. I will block you. I will delete you. And I'm not. I think I might be on that same page. No, I know I'm on that same page. I just think this is one of those things that, and I've never gotten this, JP, and you and I've talked about this a bajillion times. Okay, so basically the president is like the captain of your flight.
Regardless what party you're in.
You know what? When I'm flying on a plane, all I know is I want that captain of that flight, that pilot, to be successful and to get me from point A to point B successfully and in one piece.
Right.
So we are asking the crew, and the crew has already, several of you have already posted on your personal pages and mentioned it here. We are asking you to join in prayer for the president and for the first lady and any of their staff and family or friends that might be impacted. This is something, it's obviously, we know it's a very serious illness, and some people, it killed a dear family friend of ours this week who was 79. And so we want to make sure that everybody is praying, and no matter what your party affiliation is. My gosh, if this were an Obama presidency, I'd be praying for him. I mean, at some point, are you a human being and you're a decent human being or not?
Right. So, and this is interesting. New York Times puts out a article, of course, this morning. First of all, the president tested yesterday. They didn't get the results until after midnight Central Time. The First Lady, again, had already quarantined herself because she had started to feel not good before even getting her test results back. But the New York Times leads this morning's newspaper with Trump tests positive for COVID-19 and the world shudders. The news of an American president contracting a potentially lethal virus carried global repercussions beyond that of any other world leader. And so, well, there you go. New York Times recognized we're a little bit important.
Yeah. And there's that.
The editorial staff must have choked that one down.
I was going to say that was not easy. It could not have been easy for whoever that staffer was.
Yeah, no. But wise to do so, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Wise to do
absolutely.
So, yeah, attacking somebody while they're sick with the coronavirus, not a good idea.
And let's see if the other side can bite their tongue. I mean, again, if roles were reversed, you just don't wish if you're an American, you just don't wish ill will on the president or the first lady.
Yep, absolutely.
So
now, whether you like her or don't like her, Chrissy Teigen, this is more entertainment news, of course, has suffered a pregnancy loss following a recent hospitalization for excessive bleeding. Here's the deal. My mom went through a horrible, horrible miscarriage. This is the dedication of family, though, right? So my mom and dad, they get pregnant, and she's in the hospital for 3 days with just a horrific miscarriage, and comes to my football game that Friday night.
Yeah.
I mean, and in bad shape, excessive bleeding, and she was there to support her son. It's not fun whether you like somebody, don't like somebody. It's like the president, right?
You don't wish that on it.
You don't wish the coronavirus on the president. We don't wish a pregnancy loss. On anybody.
Yeah, you and I've talked about her with some issues we've had with her because she's a much more extreme liberal type style person. But when I saw that, it popped up on my news feed yesterday, and they were very open, and I think her and John Legend sharing this with other people because so many people have suffered a miscarriage and the loss of a pregnancy. When you're 4 or 5 months along, heck, when you first become pregnant, that baby is as real as the children you already have sitting in a car seat in the back of your car. And so they shared this, and they had a very beautiful picture of them holding their baby after their baby had passed. And it was as somebody who's a mom, that was tough to look at. So we definitely want y'all to pray for them. And I think I think her sharing that may help other people who have gone through that.
I certainly hope so.
Because to see that somebody's super rich and famous and hey, it happened to them, and it doesn't matter how great your health care is, sometimes sometimes you lose a baby to a miscarriage. So and I also wonder, I don't want to make this political, but this is going to sound political. They were talking about the life of their son, and they called him Jack. He already had a name. And so you've got Hollywood, and it's interesting because several people who piped in on their social media feed are people who have been loud and proud about having had abortions themselves in the past. I wonder if they look at that and I think what they're saying is that Chrissy and John were like around 4 or 5 months pregnant, so well into the pregnancy.
Right.
And I wonder if any of those people who had an abortion thought different when they saw how much Chrissy and John were showing that he will always be a part of their family. He was real. He was their child. They will always miss him, and they're feeling a pain like no other pain they can even imagine.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope there's some reality there.
I wonder if maybe it kind of says more to the pro-life movement.
Right.
I don't know.
I hope so. Let's go to my screen, Chuck, and look at. I've got some news from that. A couple clips from E! News. And so let me know when you're ready, Chuck, and I will fire this thing off. There you go. You're ready. So, again, this is some reporting. Some celebrities come out with some support. So, can you hear this, Chuck? We didn't test that. Are we plugged in, though?
Yes, we're plugged in.
Interesting. So maybe you just got to push a button.
I'm undone.
You're undone.
It's ready.
You're always undone hanging
it's
out with
all
us.
You, John.
I'm playing.
You're
it's
undone with us.
I'm playing. We just don't have any sound.
Maybe the sound. Maybe the
Maybe to something.
Your output.
Well, you can look all you like.
It's set to go here.
Yeah.
It needs to go to.
Oh, you got to set it up different. So again, you see pictures. You see the two of them right there, and then praying. Let's pause that right there for a second, shall we? Let's go back just a tad. I want to show that. Let's go back 10 seconds. Oops, that went back all the way. But this again, telling. This is what Kathy's talking about, is that hopefully people see this and understand the importance of life. And when you are deprived that little life for whatever reason. And so maybe there is something that comes out of that. And then, of course, there's Chrissy Teigen praying.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures were heartbreaking. They were heartbreaking. Like I said, especially those of us who have given birth and been blessed to carry a pregnancy to term, and that broke my heart for them.
Yeah,
broke my heart for them.
Absolutely. And so again, there's the picture that Kathy's talking about there as well. And Chuck, if you want to come over and fix my output, I know what you're talking about. I got to go down here and do this over here. But yeah, I mean, and again, my mom went through that. So like, I know. Oh,
everybody. Yeah. And everybody has either a family member or a friend who has gone through that miscarriage. And it's gut wrenching.
Very much so.
It's a loss of life.
Very much so. And it's like Cleo said on the feed, those late life or late term miscarriages are painful physically and mentally and very draining on the mother, and it will be for a while.
Yeah.
It's not. This doesn't just. I spent a couple days in the hospital, and I'm
and you
good.
get out, and it's like, yeah, no, it's a loss that sticks with you the rest of your life.
Chuck, you want to come look at this, and let's make sure I've got it on the right setting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Again, we want to send out our prayers to Chrissy and John as well. Not fun to lose a life at all. And by the way, Dr. Dave will be on at 8:45.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's going to be helping us with some sports.
Well, we're going to talk sports medicine, the bubbles.
Like yeah,
we're going to talk the bubbles. How is it the NHL and the NBA got it right?
Yeah,
and NFL.
I want to know, what is it? The difference with, I don't know. Now I'm very anxious to get his. I'm anxious to get his input because I've got a ton of questions about that. Because to me, it doesn't. If you're quarantining to a certain extent, which they all were, and you're keeping yourself with that small group circle, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it luck of the draw? I don't know.
Right. That's a great question. Is it the luck of the draw? Tomorrow, entertainment news. Broadway is suspended on any and everything that they're going to do in New York until January 3rd, 2021. They're offering their customers, people ask the question, what happens to people who are season ticket holders? When sports decided they were suspended.
Oh, yeah.
People were wondering, what about Broadway? Those tickets are not cheap, by the way. And so the word is that you have three options if you have Broadway tickets. One, you can get a full refund. They're giving a full refund.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Two, you can instead choose to use a voucher at 120% of the value of what your season tickets were. Or three.
Okay, I'm bad at math, so help me with that one.
Well, it's just 100. So you're going to get 2 times plus a fifth
of whatever the value is. So you could, possibly see 2 shows for the price of one when they do open back up, kind of a thing.
I have an alternate method that we might be able to use, so see if that'll work.
We'll do. We'll jump to Mariah Carey here in just a second, and we'll test it out on old Mariah. So, if you're interested about going to Broadway, you might want to start looking next spring. I anticipate that it will be social distancing and be very difficult to get tickets to go into Broadway if that's what you're wanting to do. But also, did you hear that? The famous dancers. Why did I just go blank? The
Rockettes?
The Rockettes canceled their.
I love the Rockettes.
Well, they've canceled their Christmas show, and so there'll be no Christmas show.
It will be a virtual one or something.
No, nothing. That was the announcement, anyway. Now maybe they go to virtual. I don't know, but
I would hope so.
Well, right now,
but then again,
do something
dancing.
Like they do.
But that dancing, they're famous for their kick lines. And you are literally right next to your sister kicking. It is what it is. I want it to be a Rockette.
I wonder if they could
imagine that.
I wonder if they could do like little dummies between them, and they could.
No, you can't. No,
well, hey,
honey, have you ever tried high kicking?
Well, yeah, try high kick with a dummy.
Yeah.
But I want you to ask that question when I talk about soap operas.
Soap operas, okay.
When I talk about soap operas.
Oh. And I've seen it because I remember I watched The Bold and Beautiful and Young and the Restless.
Okay, well,
I've seen it.
And we're going to talk about that here in a minute
so
as well.
I wanted to be a Rockette, all throughout high school and everything. I wasn't tall enough. That was back when you had to be, I think it was 5'7" was the minimum height requirement to be a Rockette. I'm telling you, if it would have been 5'4.5",
you'd have been there.
I would have been there trying out.
Well, that's like the Kilgore. That's like the Kilgore Rangerettes too.
Yeah. Now Kilgore Rangerettes, you could be shorter. So,
but you'd have been awesome. Though. You'd have been a great Rockette.
That was just such. God, yeah, that. Man, I always thought that'd be the coolest thing to have been a Rockette.
All right, a couple shout outs to the crew. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Major White.
Good morning,
Big
Andrew.
Kilroy's conversation tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock live.
From
so you want to tune in from
We're
here.
We're super excited.
Venture X here in Frisco, Texas. Good morning, Cleo. Good to see you on the feed. Good morning, Gail. Now, where's Michelle? I haven't seen Michelle.
He said good morning, Stud.
Good morning
to Coach Quigley.
Coach Quigley. Yeah, he said good morning to family, though, earlier.
I love it.
And then we've got Marguerite on the feed as well, and Ron Baker and Melissa. So good morning to all of them as well.
Oh, what about our shirts?
Well, that's right.
Shout out to Jackson Turner.
All right, let's see.
Everybody, let's flash the camera, JP.
Well, and can you see my
mask?
Right. My mask is Jackson Turner as well.
I know, I love that.
So we got our T-shirts on hashtag N2Y2C. Never too young to care.
Never too young to care.
And of course, I've
got
my mask. Jackson, thank you for that. We need to connect Jackson
And
with the very
McRae.
beautiful Miss Grapevine.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think they might have connected on social media because he watched our show and said thank you for the shout out while Miss Grapevine was on. Jackson, of course, is a member of the crew and one of our youngest members, and is just an outstanding individual. Yeah, I would love to see for a Hunger Project him and Miss Grapevine work together.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just right down the street from him. So anyway, yay, we love our shirts, Jackson.
Thank
and
you.
tell your mom thank you for delivering them.
Yes.
Yay.
All right.
We love them.
So Broadway is canceled January 3rd, 2021.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And Cleo just piped in and said that Tell It to Tim has been canceled for Friday.
What's
Huh?
that?
You know Tell It to Tim. That's Tim Ryan. He's
Right.
been a friend of mine forever.
Tell it to Tim on
Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Oh,
Canceled.
why?
Well, she believes it may be because of the negative comments about the president after the debate.
Oh, gotcha.
Distinctly possible.
You know, and just while we're still on Broadway, and it's interesting. Crystal Griffith, who has the Punchline Players, who's the director and producer of that show, she and I had a conversation about, and my husband and I have had this conversation multiple times, him being in theater as well, about some of these players on Broadway. Think about this. So, I mean, this is devastating. So you've got somebody who worked their entire life, and let's say they're in the Broadway production, huge runaway hit of, I'm blanking out on it.
Which one?
Founding Father.
Hamilton?
Hamilton, thank you. Gosh. So let's say you're in Hamilton. I mean, you have made it on Broadway if you're doing a show like that. And you know this show is such a smash hit that it is going to be sold out and you're going to be performing there for years. So you're one of the lead actresses. You get your apartment down the street. You think you are set. You're excited. You count on a certain amount of cash coming in for the next several years at least. Bless you. And all of a sudden, that's it. Canceled.
Well, the Rockettes, the same thing.
Yeah, well, so a number of the folks who were in Hamilton who had leading roles ended up back home looking for jobs, at a local coffee shop.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what do you do? And so I just think how devastating emotionally that much must be for those actors and actresses and singers and dancers.
Right.
I mean, this, and again, and we've talked about this before, this COVID, besides, getting it and the people who we've lost from it, the financial and the emotional impacts, JP.
Yeah. Huge.
It's going to linger for decades.
Huge. Oh, absolutely. So also to finish up, the third option on your tickets, by the way, is to donate your balance to the Broadway Cares COVID-19
Now,
Emergency Assistance Fund.
That's what I would do. That is very cool.
Yeah, that's the third
I
option
love
with
that.
your tickets.
I love to hear that.
All right.
That's good.
Let's go in and touch on some Hollywood news. Will your shows be normal? Will you be able to see shows? Here's what I think is interesting. Now, of course, I haven't killed my Netflix account yet. I know there's a movement for that
because they run Cuties.
Cuties. Yeah,
They still have The Office on Netflix though, so they still have me.
Well, it's funny. They're advertising what the number one movie releases are right now, right? Not on social media, but on like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all that across the country. Real Steel is number 4 right now. Well, Real Steel was released years ago. That's got what's his name in it.
That's a movie?
Yes, it's
Okay.
it's a very good movie. Remember those robots that stand up and each one of you got on each one of the buttons and
heck
you punch?
yeah.
Well, that's-
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Right, that's kind of what this is, and so but you control it with a controller, your robot, as you fight. Okay,
That was a while back.
long time ago. It's got what's his name from? He was the Wolverine.
I love him.
Hugh Jackman.
Thank you, Hugh Jackman.
And speaking of Broadway and talent, Hugh Jackman's amazing.
Yeah, and so that is the number 4 movie right now in this country. That was released a long time ago, folks.
Well, that's like
Yeah, it was.
watching It's a Wonderful
It
Life
was.
for
That's
all
what
the
I'm like-
major classics, right?
Yeah,
They're just
Real
timeless.
Steel,
But
no
is
offense,
Real
but
Steel timeless?
does not count as.
Never seen it. I've never
It's
seen
a
it.
classic. Yeah. We love Hugh Jackman.
It's a good
but
movie.
I don't
I'm not
think
saying
so.
he isn't.
All right. So, will Hollywood go back to looking the same? Well, they tried to. Filmmakers tried to do it, but residents and employees said, this is no Taco Bueno. The neighborhoods were not real happy about productions in their neighborhood. Parking was absolutely a risk, and people were worried. They just couldn't get into a good rhythm. A 34-year-old photographer lodged a complaint with Film LA, the nonprofit group that handles film permits, and he says no one needs to die for a Michael Bay movie. We have a lot of neighbors at risk. I think that's a little extreme. That's pretty much Hollywood extreme as far as I'm concerned. Just also some breaking news that just came in, entertainment-wise. Vice President Mike Pence tests negative for COVID-19. Just to let you know. All right.
I think the president and the first lady got it from the young lady Hope, who's one of their top aides, one of his top aides, because they were in close proximity in Air Force One together, in the helicopter together, the presidential helicopter. So I think that's probably anyone who was really close around her, the people who are the most at risk. And I would imagine, because they don't ever have the president and the vice president travel together, right?
Well, not wisely.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There you go.
No. So
Wisely.
Yeah. So Michael Bay ends up moving his production to a offsite location, and they do a script change to try to make this thing happen. They tried to exceed all safety guidelines. What they've quoted is they've said that we just can't afford it. They were giving over 200 tests a day. They were, they just couldn't keep up with the fees. Although Film LA has issued 350 permits since mid-June and received roughly 36 complaint calls of the 54 issues raised. 17 of them had to do with illegal productions that were later shut down by the police. Again,
like an illegal production.
Well, yeah, not wearing masks, not socially distanced. Yeah.
Is that illegal? Or I guess. I guess out in that neck of the woods.
Well, here, remember Shelley Luther? Arrested by Clay Jenkins.
Well, yeah, that's because Dallas County's more like California than Texas.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there we go.
So, so crews started to be concerned as well, and so a lot of things have changed, including your soap operas. Soap operas have dramatically changed. Guess what? They're kissing. Okay, Chuck, you missed your line. Missed your line, Chuck.
So what are they going to use, like dummy stand-ins?
Yeah, mannequins.
They're kissing. Yeah, they're kissing mannequins and plastic dolls.
And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen on TV. So, okay, so if you want to know how I decompress, and everybody's like, how do you just go home and chillax and relax? Well, it is by two shows. One, Bold and Beautiful, which I have watched since its inception in 1987.
33 years.
1987. I started watching it with my best friend in college. And have stuck with that show the whole entire time. Now, obviously, back in the day before they had DVR, I could only watch it during the summer and Christmas break when I was a teacher. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so I record both of those shows every day. I don't necessarily watch them every day, but when I sit down to decompress, Bold and the Beautiful you can watch in 17 minutes without commercials. Young and the Restless, which I've watched on and off since I was in junior high or high school, since I was 14, 15. You can watch that in 35 minutes because you don't necessarily follow all the storylines. So I've watched both of these shows forever and a day. That's how I do what I call dummy down. And everybody knows, stay away from mom, let Kathy watch her show, don't anybody interrupt her, else she'll pause it and then she'll rewind it. So I'm watching it since they've come back. Now, for the longest time, they were playing reruns of both of those soap operas. But when it came back, I noticed everybody they're at least 6 feet apart. So you've got a husband and wife having this passionate conversation from way across the room, which is very odd. You have one character on Young and the Restless who finds out that her cancer is worse than she thought, and her boyfriend doesn't even come over and give her a hug. He just stands across the room looking all sad. It's very odd to watch it because soap operas, everybody's making out, they're slapping each other. You're either mad at somebody
on the
or
rear
happy.
End or where?
No, there's big old slaps across the face.
Boxer shorts.
Do not take my husband, blah. Anyway, so I'm watching it the other day, and I've noticed, I'm like, oh, they just did a split screen. So they're making it look like this was Breckenridge, and they made it look like they were on Bold and Beautiful. They looked like they were face to face, like they normally would be on a soap opera. But I could tell their eyes weren't looking like they're really truly across. So they did a split screen. I'll record you here, I'll record you here, and then we'll do this. And then all of a sudden, Ridge goes in for the kiss, and he knocks the dummy, the mannequin. So they have Brooke's hair looking different. And I'm like, that's odd. That's a weird hairstyle for her. Well, it's because it had to match the wig on the mannequin. And you can't make this up. And I've still got it recorded and saved because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So
we gotta see that.
So they go into I'll record it and
we gotta
put it
see
on my
that
thing. Yeah. So he goes to kiss her, but it's not like a real person. You grab them by the side of the face before you kiss them, or you grab them on the back of the neck or the head or something. So he's going in for the kiss, and like this is the mannequin. He kind of accidentally hits his nose oddly, and the mannequin kind of moves a little bit before he goes in for the kiss, which you really can't see because the kiss is covered by the mannequin hair. They had another one that they did that with, but the guy was super careful and kind of swept him. It was Carter and, what's the model's name? I can't remember. She's the one whose dad stole Brooke's daughter's baby. But anyways, and so he kind of went in underneath for the kiss. Now, what's interesting on The Bold and the Beautiful is there was a kissing scene with Steffi and her doctor, Stephanie, who's now off in drug rehab. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. And Steffi and this doctor appear to be kissing. I think it must be his real life wife, must have brunette hair and about the same body figure that Steffi has, because that was a real life couple on Young and the Restless. The only couple making out is the couple that's living together in real life.
And you have been listening to JP, Kathy, and the Crew's Soap Opera Review.
Well, and we may be getting some more of that.
But you can't make this stuff up because soap operas, passion's a big part of it. Everybody's, always hooking up with somebody. So
Kathy Ward's Soap Opera in Review.
More than you ever needed to know about soap operas. But that mannequin thing is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it just reminds me of that movie.
So funny. Oh, mannequin.
Cherry.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Do you remember? There's the new one called Cherry, right? Where she's like a robot girlfriend.
I don't know that. What?
I think it's called Cherry. I think.
Well, that's the what.
I was thinking of the old one from the 80s with Andrew
the
McCarthy,
mannequin. There's the mannequin.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great movie, but we're getting lost.
No.
Go to my screen. Let's go to my screen, and this is what Kathy's talking about.
Oh.
And so let me know when we're there, and we're going to see if we can get some sound out of this.
Now there it is.
Charles, we are not getting any sound.
Even though the thing's on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so funny. So funny.
But you're going to see Denise Richards, of course, looks like she's kissing
Move
him.
your mic down there, maybe.
No, that was
here we go.
real. That was before COVID.
Well, they're going to show.
And I do not like those two
maybe
characters
they already
together.
did show.
Yeah, they go back because they had Brooke with the blonde hair, not
They're
Denise
supposed
Richards.
to have him doing it too.
It's Ridge kissing Brooke is the mannequin.
It's both. See, there's her, and she's talking to him, and they're talking her through. Then there he is, and kaboom. So that's what Kathy's talking about.
I will have to record what I've got saved on my TV. It's hilarious.
I've got nothing coming out of my computer.
It's hilarious.
We're talking wee bit. I should get more sound than that. Anyways, point is that's what that looks like.
Oh, hey, Coach Quigley.
Stay on my screen.
Coach Quigley said late 70s, early 80s, college days. He goes, my girlfriend, now my wife, was a Luke and Laura General Hospital fan. See? And the current Miss Texas, Chandler Foreman, who we just love dearly. We need to get her back on the show.
We do.
She is a Young and the Restless fan. That's the first thing she and I bonded over when I met her right after she became Miss Texas.
Yeah, I did General Hospital. Let's try to plug me.
Good morning.
Let's try to plug me in again. So here's a picture. I don't know if you can see it real well or not, but it's a picture of The Bold and the Beautiful. No, pardon me, Michael Bay discussing production with his crew, and you can see that they are all spatially distanced, and so that's what it looks like now. So will a lot be coming out of Hollywood? Probably not.
And everything looks kind of the way real life feels. Like I've noticed some of the shows that have come back on, it looks. Yeah, I guess that's the best way I can say it. It looks like real life feels, where everybody's just kind of at a distance and nobody's hugging and you don't see people shaking hands, and it's very awkward because as human beings, we relate to each other through hug and through high fives and handshakes and kisses and all that kind of good stuff. And you just don't. That's just not going on like it used to be.
It's not. So
It's just so sad.
Also coming out of Hollywood, Mariah Carey has decided that she is going to do her memoirs after 30 years of being in the music business. And
I've got to hear this.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a new tell-all released on Tuesday, September 29th.
That she's doing?
It was just released, yeah. Mariah doesn't hold back. She goes after it. Co-author Michaela Angela Davis, they come out and they talk about her fraught childhood, her marriages to Tommy. Is that Motola?
I'm not sure.
Got his name right.
I'm not sure.
I never got his name
Is it
right.
wasn't she married to Nick Cannon?
Yeah, Nick Cannon as well.
That's who she had her twins
The
with.
arrival of the Dim babies and fraternal twins Moroccan and Monroe. You know, that's kind of hilarious, by the way.
That's a whole nother segment would be stars,
Moroccan
babies'
and
names.
Monroe.
Yeah,
Woo,
Moroccan and Rolling and whatnot.
Yeah.
That road, like Road to Morocco, I
there
think
you
Hope and Crosby.
That's not quite as fun, but
That
that's
needs to
cute,
be another
though,
segment for your entertainment thing.
Yeah, babies
when we do
in
the entertainment,
Hollywood.
baby names.
because they're coming. Oh yeah,
Apple.
Hello, yeah. Give me a break. Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Apple a day.
So she says it took me a lifetime to have the courage and the clarity to write my memoir. She wrote in a printed inside of the book of the jacket to somebody and said, though there have been countless stories about me throughout my career and very public personal life, it's been impossible to communicate the complexities and depth of my experience in any single magazine article or a 10-minute television interview. And so the book is composed of her memories, her mishaps, her struggles, her survival, and her songs, unfiltered. So September 29th, that came out in entertainment news as well.
Is this kind of a rebuttal? Because she's one of
I'm
those,
sure of
they
it.
say she's, and I don't know any of this, and I don't even know who they is, say she's a diva. Is this in rebuttal to the fact that some folks really just dogpile on her?
It could be.
And she wants to kind of
Probably.
put her own spin out there or something. Or is it one of those things? Because think about it. And they've talked about this even in Hollywood. You've got some stars who are selling these multi-bajillion-dollar homes because, hey, if you're not out there cranking out 3 movies, making $20 million a movie 3 times a year, all of a sudden that mansion may not be affordable. I mean, there are literally, there's, and I need to see the statistic before I say it, but there was a thing about musicians, about how something like 70% of the people who made their living off of being a musician have had to go and find another job. I mean, it was staggering. And it's just so sad. Again, just so many devastating things.
I like that
from
measurable
COVID.
thing you said. Bajillion.
Bajillion.
That's
How many zeros is that?
That's
a lot of
fuzzy. That's
zeros.
fuzzy math.
So going on with some fuzzy math, don't forget you can also go and vote for the Entertainment People's Choice Awards. It is time for that again. So go vote now. And so in movies, you've got the nominees you can vote for. I don't know if you can show my screen there, Chuck. But it'll show you the movie of 2020. It shows you the main categories. It shows you who they are, what the nominees are, and how you can go vote. Of course, if it were me, I'd go vote for the Trolls World Tour just because. Although The Invisible Man was way good. Catherine Ann, that's in your head. I know that you went and saw that movie.
Oh,
There you go.
Didn't go and see it.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, remember that was right at COVID. You went and saw it in the
did.
movie theater. My
Is it a new
daughter.
Oh, yeah, Emily went and saw
My
it.
daughter went and saw it in the movie theater. Literally, both of y'all went and saw it the same weekend. Y'all both blew up my phone saying, I know you don't, scary movies scare you, which ironically, that's their job. And both of y'all were like, just get over it. You have to go see it.
Yeah.
The next weekend, Michael and I were going to go see it. And I can't remember, something happened and we didn't go see it. We're like, we'll see it the next weekend. Next weekend, everything was shut down because of COVID. So we finally saw it. I want to say 2 months later, I sent you a text, and I literally FaceTimed Emily. I'm like, look what I'm watching. and we had to pay, $20 to see it on one of our movie platforms. Yeah, one of our streaming links. But it was phenomenal. It was a good movie.
And great acting.
Yes, love the acting. I wish I could have seen it in the theater.
Yeah, it was way good.
I really do. I really do.
The Old Guard was a good movie. That's a Charlize Theron. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Charlize Theron.
Okay, good. Theron. Maybe that's what it is. Never saw Project Power.
What movie was that?
That's The Old Guard.
Okay.
A very good movie. Love that action movie. Here's what I don't get, and Kathy mentioned this earlier. My dad and I went and saw it at the theater, not the movie theater, but in person as a musical. Hamilton. I'm not getting it. Like I don't.
I've got to admit this, and I'm the biggest lover of musicals and show tunes ever on God's green earth. I still haven't seen it.
Well, it's on Disney Plus.
You know
I
what?
know, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh no.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
I know we're under a rock.
You know what? I don't know that I want to see the Founding Fathers rapping. And I've got friends who are on one side or the other. I've got friends, especially my old theater friends, either love it more than life itself, put it up there above other musicals like Les Mis and Phantom and stuff like that, or they're like, nope, done. So you're one of the nope, done people.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, it was interesting, but I just don't get the take on it.
Okay. So you didn't go out and buy the soundtrack and download the soundtrack, and you're not singing the
So
song.
was the music at least good?
Yeah. I mean, the music.
So it was entertaining
good.
from a musical standpoint.
Yeah, but I just didn't get it though.
And it has won like every award.
I don't get that.
Okay.
I don't get that. I mean, I don't see the connectivity on it. The direction of it is interesting at best. It's piecemealed. I'm not a fan.
You mean the movie version or the play version?
There's not a movie version of it.
Well, Disney.
No,
Disney has it. Disney Plus has it out.
They released it.
But it's not a movie.
No, it's just a musical.
It's the musical. No, there's
the
not
musical as a movie or something.
No, there's
I don't
not.
know if
It's
it's
not.
a
There's
musical.
not
It's
a
just a
movie.
musical.
That's
They just play. It was
it's a recording
Broadway
of
play
the Broadway
on
play. Yes,
Disney
that's a big.
or
There's a
something.
big.
Okay.
Don't get me started because there's
Yeah,
Grease
Gail
the
said she
musical,
liked it.
and then there's Grease the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
See, Gail said
So
she
Gail
liked
liked it?
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying you can't
Oh,
like it.
most of my friends did.
Yeah, I
But I do have some of my
just
theater
don't-
friends who did not dig it at all.
I just don't get it. I don't get the take on it on Hamilton. I don't. That's again. It's entertaining, but I don't get it. Also, Birds of Prey. That was a way good fun movie to watch, especially if you are a Harley Quinn Joker, which I am. I'm a sucker. So, anyways, you can go to E News and
we know
vote.
we know Kathy likes Harlequin stuff.
Well,
Harlequin romance.
Based on her hair or what?
Oh,
No, based on her
please.
soap opera stuff.
No, I
descriptions.
don't. I never dug those books. I stuck to my I watched General Hospital when I was a little kid. When I got grounded and sent to my room, it was always around the same time every day because I remember General Hospital, like that ambulance and that opening.
Sorry,
scene,
I didn't mean to go back
which
to the
was a
soaps, John.
Which was a regular thing.
Finish up, then.
Yeah.
Now you can't get me started on soap operas and turn it off.
That is your entertainment news here with JP, Kathy, and the crew. On we're going to take just a short minute on YouTube and do a little bloop 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 bloop, and so that way we can kind of break that up in half as we get ready to jump into sports.
Oh my gosh, it's 8:22.
Yeah, it's time to get on to sports.
I can't
Time
believe it.
flies.
Time flies. Well, especially when you're talking entertainment news, which I know
and if
so
the
much
crew,
about.
if the crew has any movies or anything binge worthy,
Cobra Kai.
we're getting ready
Cobra
to binge.
Kai.
We're getting ready to binge that. My highest recommendation right now would be Peaky Blinders. Unbelievable. Michael and I have Peaky Blinders hats now. It's so
Cobra Kai.
We're so sad. I'm going to watch that one.
And now a new one. It's a cool one. It's called Dark, and it's German based, but they've got them speaking English. Yeah.
What is it
Dark.
on? Is
Netflix.
that Netflix? Okay, Netflix, not Hulu. Okay.
Yeah, I dig that.
We
show.
would love
Or,
anything to
whatever.
binge, and let's each pick a show to talk about starting next Friday about that's binge worthy and why it's binge worthy.
And let's hear what you guys have that's binge
and that's what
worthy.
we want to hear from the crew. What's binge worthy? Also, what movies are out there that are worth if you pay $19 for a movie? Is it any good? Or a movie that's old and new again, kind of like Real Steel, like you were talking about. So we would love to hear recommendations from the crew.
Yep, what you're looking at. All right. So also, as we get ready to transition through YouTube, Fred says, I won't see Hamilton since they stopped a performance to
That's another reason why I
ridicule
didn't want to
Pence,
see
who
it.
said
Thank
there
you, Fred.
Was there with his wife.
They basically asked Pence and his wife to leave. I mean, just how absolutely rude. Yeah, so goodbye, done.
Oh, Fred, did you see Dark? Fred says those Germans are great. Well, it's a good show on on
Yep, that's right.
whatchamacallit, so that's for sure. Coach Quigley says Murdoch Mysteries is outstanding.
General
And,
Hospital is still on. That's right. Ron said his wife watches that. I
Hey,
forget. I forget that
loved
it's not
General
just
Hospital.
my Channel 11.
When they had
soap
what's his
operas.
name, the singer Wagner. What was his
Oh,
first name?
Jack Wagner.
Yeah, let me tell you, man.
Guess what? He was
And Laura.
And who was he on?
Luke and Laura.
And who? Yeah, they were great. I saw Anthony Geary as Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar, sat front row center back at SMU back in the day.
Wow.
One of my favorite musicals. Okay, but
Ranch.
Jack Wagner, you know what else he was on?
Uh-uh.
Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. 33
He was
years
Frisco. Frisco was his name on General Hospital,
it?
if I'm thinking right.
Jack
And then
Wagner's was?
I think so.
I thought he was Luke.
No. Anthony Geary was Luke. Oh no.
Frisco?
Oh.
His name was Frisco?
Somebody help me out with that.
I'll
I'll have to look that up. But no. Anthony Geary was Luke.
Gotcha.
Duh.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
Luke and Laura. All I know is I watched it as a kid.
But anyway, so then he finished up his soap opera career on Bold and the Beautiful as Nick, who was a captain.
I need to start watching The Ranch. Where is that at? Is it on
Oh,
Netflix? Where is
there
that?
have been some
Prime
people who
time?
have posted about that. Is that on Amazon
I
Prime?
don't know what it's
maybe?
on. I've got them all.
Help us out with that.
Well, I don't have Hulu and stuff. I've got Amazon Prime and Netflix.
See, I've got Hulu too. I've got them all.
I don't have that because my dad had to have AT&T,
Got them all.
so we've got AT&T. So yeah, but yeah, in Longmire, I don't know that one.
Gail said, "Goose, Maverick."
Yeah,
I love it.
Top
Gail.
Gun, absolutely. Can't wait for that to come out. I'm looking forward to Top Gun as well. So here's the exciting good stuff, right? The exciting good stuff is, hey, Michael, good morning. What are you doing, man?
Hey, we know you.
Are you live right now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Come say hi.
Hey, come over here and say hi.
Come over and say hi. Come get on camera. Introduce yourself.
See
Say
if
hi.
that microphone's hot. If not, we'll get Chuck to get it hot. Is somebody out there wanting to come in?
You have a guest that's here.
Oh, very good. Is
We
that?
do?
Well, it may be.
Oh, it may be Greg who's coming in later.
No. It may be our intern prospect.
Oh, it is.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you? Good to see
Good.
ya. We're live right now. We're saying hi to everybody.
Saying
while
hi to
we're
everybody.
live.
Hey, have a seat, and we'll be right with you. Just to kind of enjoy the end of the show and what we do.
a
We're kind of
mess.
goofy.
Thank you.
All right. So, and want to thank Faye Curtis, right? You know Faye, right?
No, I met Charles.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Different
Oh,
one. Okay.
I was gonna say she. Okay,
She met Charles. She's an attorney.
That's right. You're thinking about doing a podcast on JP Kathy and the Crew. That's
she's
awesome.
She's a lawyer. We can't talk to her anymore.
Oh yes, we
She
can.
might sue us.
But I don't think she's going to be an intern. Then I was
No,
like,
not the
I was
intern.
like, she's young
Not the-
looking, but I don't know that she's high school
but
young looking.
She might sue us. You can't talk to her anymore.
So shut it down.
Shh, we don't have contracts
Please,
yet.
like we're not in trouble for all the stuff.
Oh,
I
that's
just
true.
gave away the whole behind the scenes on Bold and the
You
Beautiful.
did.
I'm sure a lawsuit's
Where
coming
is
my
Charles?
way.
Where is
I
the
don't
man?
know.
I think we should take the camera and go to the bathroom. I think he's in the bathroom.
No, that's not very nice.
I think that'd be hilarious. I've got his doodaddy McJigger thingy, the gimme thingy, the gimbal. We should go to the bathroom and catch him on the bathroom live.
That is horrible.
I think it's hilarious. That's like a David Letterman thing.
No, well, we're not David Letterman.
But we don't have to be, but we can be fun though. All right, while you've got JP, Kathy, and the crew over the
we're
screen
a
for 10
mess.
minutes, which is no taco bueno, by the way.
Hello, we're still
We're here.
broadcasting live.
Let's go ahead and head over to sports. We'll have Dr. Dave calling in here in just a moment. Let's get over to sports.
Oh,
and get you caught up.
entertainment.
What
When
now?
he takes the screen down, we haven't talked about Helen Reddy and Mac Davis.
We'll finish the show with that.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Because
you
we
promise?
because we're at almost
I'm a big old fan.
We're almost at 8:30. We've got to get on to sports.
Where does the time go?
I need you off of it. I should have never gotten soap opera talk going.
Dude, you should. You
I
have
blew
no
it.
idea.
I blew the soap opera talk.
That's a
Chuck,
minimum.
I almost came to the bathroom to get you live.
That's a minimum 30.
Take down
That's
the
a
JP
that's a
Kathy
minimum
and the
30-minute
crew.
conversation when you mention Bolden.
All right, there we go. Now we're back. I almost came to the bathroom to get him live. So here's the deal.
Just kidding.
I sent a text over to Kathy after the national anthem with the NHL Stanley Cup Finals because I hadn't caught the national anthem yet with the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the finals. I hadn't caught that yet. I always came in on like 2 minutes into the first period kind of deal, right?
Well, because and then you didn't see the game live from the other day because y'all were out to dinner or you
Right,
did a late
right.
dinner and then came back because you DVR'd it, blah, 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 kind of
Yeah.
a thing. So, yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Here's how much fun is this? I want you to think about this. Not a single hockey player took a knee. Not a single hockey player raised his fist up in the air. Not a single hockey player bowed his head down as if he was ashamed of the national anthem.
Now, I did see a couple have their like this is their stick. They had their glove on their stick and their head down like this, but it didn't seem like they were. It just seemed like they were resting that way.
See, I didn't catch that.
I did notice that on a couple of them, but I didn't take it as a big old kneeling shebang thing.
So here's the thing.
Or, you know, shout out to that.
Even though I loved hockey already anyways, hockey has now become my American pastime.
You know what? Hockey, it's funny. So the real hockey season will be starting back up again if we're ever out of COVID mode. And it's so funny on social media, all my folks who I said have been, you know, big NBA and, you know, NBA and NFL and all that, who are like, just like kind of over it. And I said, that's their target audience. And once you lose that, man, you don't bring it back.
Right.
They're the same people who are posting, when do the Stars start again?
Yeah. Well,
people are ready for hockey season.
I'm ready
again.
for hockey to come back.
Amen.
Stars just didn't have enough offense. They just could not pull it together. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they were able to pull together great series on the ice, especially during power play opportunities. And they're able to convert and just pounded the backup goalie, Kubadin for the Dallas Stars. Bishop being out was a huge game changer. Kubadin, of course, got hammered in, what was that, Kathy? Game 3, 5-2. And they ended up replacing him and bringing in the third goalie for the Stars to finish that game out. The Stars, they just, again, were not able to pull together enough firepower. The Tampa Bay Lightning kept the pressure on. In fact, it was during second period of that Game 3 that the Stars were only on the offensive end of the ice for about 15%. And
it was tough. Tampa just, for one thing, they kind of had our number, and I think we might have gone in a little too confident and making too many assumptions, because everybody, including us and including our dear friend from our last radio station, Chris O'Sullivan, who was, we were all like, hey, 2020, this is our Stanley Cup year. But I tell you what, the depth of talent on the ice to the bench that Tampa has, I think they're going to be on top for a long time. I mean, they're
strong.
They're
if they can keep the team together,
good team.
If they can keep it together,
that's a good point. Yeah, because people are going to start getting offers to go other
Right.
places and whatnot. But
Right.
they're so talented.
And if Bishop can get healthy and stay healthy, and the Stars need to add defensive players that have a offensive mind. And the Colorado Rockies had a great defensive line in the 90s that would score from the blue line almost. And, I mean, that's what you have to have. And the Stars just didn't have enough. But guess what? They took us to the finals, and congratulations to you.
Exciting
and
hockey.
Just loved watching you.
Dallas Stars, God love you. That was some of the best entertainment that I've seen during COVID.
And they got me out of the house.
That was good. Well, you went to the
American
Airlines Center and
That's
hung
right,
out.
And hung out.
Yep.
Got my T-shirt on.
COVID style.
COVID style. And it was COVID style. Everybody
Yeah,
was.
Coach said that the Stars spent too much time in the penalty box.
They did. But,
They did, but,
the
yeah.
bottom line is, also when you're on the power play, though, Coach, you got to convert. And the Stars didn't convert. And that hurts. And the Tampa Bay Lightning did during the power play. So, all right, let's get over to your Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, everybody thought for sure, and again, let me go ahead and just put this disclaimer out. I'm not watching the NFL this year. I'll read about it. I'll talk to you about it, but I'm not watching it.
The NFL?
Yeah, I'm not watching
Yeah,
it.
well,
What
I
does
mean,
it- what does it
what
even
did I do
mean?
last weekend during the Cowboy game? I took the kids to the Perot Museum.
Yeah, I don't even have time on it.
And
no
I didn't, and
football
I
league, right?
really kind of didn't even care to follow up too much.
Yeah. So your Dallas Cowboys are 1-2. And again, this is like last year. This is a repeat of last year, everybody. And what's funny is we've spent a lot of money on offensive players, and we don't show up until we're 21 points down, which is also typical of what happened last year as well.
I was going to say, that's kind of our gig. We were always a second half team.
Yeah, but you better become a first half team.
If you're going to be a Super Bowl contender, it is
Okay,
what it is.
what do
when's
I
the
say,
last time
Kathy?
which one? A defense wins
Defense
games.
wins games.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, and when's the last time? I was still a high school teacher at Plano East Senior High in the 90s before I had kids. The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Well, and again, though, I go back to you got to
Wow.
play defense. If you're not going to play defense, it doesn't matter how good McCarthy's offense is. You're not going to win football games. Hence, the Dallas Cowboys in 2 games have given up 77 points, and they've lost the football games. You can't do it.
Defense
Defense wins games.
Wins games.
I learned that in 1985 with the Chicago Bears. because I'm a huge Bears fan.
The
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
I mean, Mike Singletary, the
Bears.
bratwurst there.
exactly. So the Cowboys lose, of course, game one to the L.A. Rams or whatever they are now, 20-17.
They've got a nice stadium, though. I will give them that. That's a fancy stadium.
Yeah, they beat the hapless Falcons 40-39 last week, and then of course they go up to Seattle.
But it was barely.
Seattle.
Wasn't that like a really close,
Yeah,
exciting
too
edge of your
close.
seat game?
Yeah,
I guess.
bottom feeder game. Yeah. Seattle
Didn't see it.
Seahawks. They're bottom feeders. Seattle Seahawks take on the Cowboys up in Seattle. They also get smoked up there, 38-31. They were never really in the game until the end. And so here's what all the Cowboy Nation has to look forward to: the Cleveland Browns. They're coming to AT&T Stadium. If there's a game that they can win, that'll be the game they should be able to win. But again, they fit in right into the mold that they did last year. The teams that were good and in the top 25%, they couldn't win. The teams that were bad, they won those games. And hence, you have the Eagles go to the playoffs.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
You got to win games to.
Yeah.
Wait,
Be in
what
the
is
top
this
10.
you speak of? Is this
This
breaking
is
sports
interesting.
news?
Yeah, this is breaking sports news. So the
What?
Cowboys have got the Browns on Sunday at 12 p.m. Of course, the Cowboys are expected to win the next three games as they take on the Browns, the Giants, and then the Cardinals. And so it'll be interesting to see. The Cardinals had an interesting start, put a spanking on San Francisco, and then lost last week. And so we'll see how the Cardinals play out. Then, of course, the Cowboys play the nameless Washington. I have to stop there. The nameless Washington.
Well, they're just Washington.
They're the W's.
Washington.
They're the W's.
The Washington no names.
They do
The
kind of have.
W's.
It's like kind of a retro throwback, almost old collegiate looking look to their uniform that I do dig. I dig that, but they don't have a mascot. They're just Washington.
Do they have the same colors at least?
Yes, they do have the
Yeah,
same
who
colors.
knows?
Just no.
Again, I'm not
no
watching.
Mascot.
So right now, here's what you have, right? You have, this is so much fun, at the top of the NFC East. The NFC East, by the way, they get the Kiss My Butt Award this week.
What?
Yeah, they really do. Listen to this.
That's becoming a regular thing
It
for
is.
you. Every
Well, I'm gonna
Friday,
have my
somebody's
Kiss My Butt.
kissing
Yeah.
your butt.
Yeah, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, they got to Kiss My
Oh,
Butt
who
last
was
week.
it? There was.
And Schumer.
Yeah, that was it. That
It was Schumer,
Yeah,
Pelosi,
that's right.
and-
That's right.
and
Everybody
Biden.
who's going towards the socialist
got to
movement.
kiss my
that's
big old
right.
hairy
You
butt.
said that.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
you
right.
didn't say that.
Oh, I didn't say that?
TMI.
KMB.
Oh, sorry.
Hashtag KMB.
Yeah, KMB. Yeah, whatever that is.
Oh, KMB.
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 Kiss my butt.
booty.
Oh, kiss my-
Hashtag KMB.
Oh, I need to add that hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do they get to kiss my butt? Well, because the NFC East, this is embarrassing. The top teams are the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? The Washington.
Yeah.
At
Or
one-
and Washington? I mean, is that what they're saying? The Washington?
well, that's what I'm saying. What else can
Sounds
you
like
say?
a dishwasher or something.
It does,
like that.
doesn't it? It sounds like GE's dishwasher. Washington. So they're 1-2. They're 1-2. That is the first and second in our division, leading our division 1-2.
Who is?
The record. Washington and
Washington
the Cowboys.
and
We're redonkulous, as Kathy says.
yeah,
The Eagles are
redonkulous.
0-2-1.
This is
and
all
the
news
Giants
to
are
me,
0-3.
by the way.
So, but then let's go
This is
to
up
the
that upside down world.
Yeah, let's go to the NFC West. All right, this is how embarrassing. The Seahawks are 3-0. The Cardinals are 2-1. The Rams are 2-1, and the 49ers are 2-1. Did you hear a losing record in the NFC West? We are atop the NFC East with a losing record. Help me out here.
And I would love to know.
With a $500 bazillion quarterback.
I would love to
Help me out here.
know.
We need to buy
I would love to know what the ratings are on the NFL right now. Do you know?
I don't
Have you come
know.
across that yet?
I haven't bothered.
I
So-
mean, again, we're folks who last year we even had a JP Kathy and the Crew Fantasy Football League.
We did.
We've
Not
got it.
this year. We got to get our
When
NFL.
are our paper football
I don't
people
know.
getting? We got to get that together.
The NFC North. The Packers are 3-0. The Bears are 3-0. They're my Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Lions are 1-2. The Vikings 0-3. It should sound like that. But the Cowboys are 1-2, and so are the Washington, and they're atop the NFC East. I'm embarrassed. Even the Buccaneers are 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah. Tom Brady researching. The Saints are 1-2.
Fred says, so is is it PPE and KMB on Friday now? Positive person experience, which is a lovely
Positive
story.
person
And then,
experience.
yeah.
And they could
And
kiss
it's like-
my butt.
JP took that away real quick.
Oh, man.
Kiss my butt. Of course, I don't know yet. Has anybody released news on what's going to happen with the Texans game and the Vikings game? Of course, COVID-19 has hit the NFL, and the NFL supposedly had a plan, but Roger Goodell couldn't release that plan. So I don't know that we still know what the NFL is going to do with their COVID-19 teams that are sick.
They'll play in a separate stadium with each other.
With each other? Maybe they'll play virtually.
Or they can play paper football, maybe.
No,
They'll do that vibrating,
the
football
vibrating
game.
thing,
Yeah.
which that was
there
the
you go.
best.
Yeah,
My
there
brother
you
and I had that Well, my brother had it, and I used to get to play it, where you set your players up, and then you turned it on, and it was like, and that like had sharp metal edges. Talk about lawsuits! I was like, that game would not fly nowadays with parents.
And if
'Cause
you
it'd be
needed a new
too
football,
dangerous.
you got the
Yeah.
Q-tip tip.
Heck
Right?
yeah,
You got the
man.
cotton
Heck
tip
yeah.
off the Q-tip.
Heck
You
yeah.
were creative.
Football.
Yeah, no, Washington leads the division. Thanks, Kirk. I appreciate that. Yeah, Washington leads the division. We're 1-2 at 1-2. Yeah, that just blows my mind.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not. So it's in the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys. about
Elizabeth
And the
chimed in.
Cowboys.
She said, "Yeah, it was 1995
Yeah.
when the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl."
that. So we do need to mention the
Holy
Kansas City
Toledo,
Chiefs.
Batman.
Kansas City Chiefs are above their division, of course. Mahomes doing the thing. Cam Newton says that Pat Mahomes is bringing in a new era of quarterback into the NFL. Love Pat Mahomes.
They'll play
by the
Madden.
way. I love that guy. I mean, he's way cool. But the Kansas City Chiefs have a big game coming up, and so it'll be interesting to see how Mahomes reacts and responds. Now let's go to real football. College football is alive and back. And
now
I'll
you're
tell
still
you,
following that.
oh, heck yeah. I love college football. And so here's the thing, right? Big games. Texas goes to Lubbock. I've been dying to talk about this,
Oh
right?
yeah, you couldn't talk about this all week.
I couldn't. I'm so excited to
You
talk about
UT
this.
fan,
so
you?
Texas no. Texas goes to Lubbock.
Oh, your guns up now?
Oh no, you ready for this? Guns up. Lubbock thought they had it. They jumped on the lead late in the fourth quarter. And then guess what? Guess what? My Longhorns. Kaboom. Put your guns back in your saddle there, buddy. You're holstering them up.
You
You have to
Right.
talk to
The
Jeremy about
Longhorns
that
are on
one.
the way.
The lawyer
Woo!
show.
Yeah, he didn't like that. I need to
No,
come back and hammer him.
yeah. He's the guns up guy.
Wish I could have been here for that.
He
There's no
talked
doubt
about that on his show too.
Now, it took 63 points for Texas to win in Lubbock, but they did it after going and falling behind and having to go to
63.
overtime.
What was the total score for both sides?
Oh, goodness. It was 119.
119 total points.
Yeah, total
Oh, my
points that
gosh.
game. 119 total points. Sam Ellinger brings back the Longhorns. Of course, the question was, could he be the next Vince Young at Texas? And it was interesting because I got some reaction and response from people who said, oh, he's better than Vince Young. But we're not talking about talent. We're talking about football. What do I mean by that? That means, do you have a nose for it? Do you have an instinct for it? And Vince Young had a nose for the end zone, like it or lump
Right.
it. When he drove UT back against USC to win the game and be number one in the country, that's Vince Young. Whether you
When was
like him
that?
or didn't like him. When was that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Seriously? I'm over 40 years old. Don't ask me dates. I can tell you about the game. So, but Ellinger definitely shows that he's got at least the mettle of Vince Young and has the ability to bring his team back. There's our future intern. I'm super excited. Hello. So, to bring her back, and the Longhorns take over the Red Raiders in overtime, and the defense was able to finally hold on. Longhorns go to 2-0. Ellinger threw for 262 yards. You ready for this? 5 touchdowns. 5
That's a
touchdowns.
lot.
1 interception.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
impressive.
So Texas goes on to stay undefeated, barely, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's all about the wins
Just
and the
sounds like
losses.
the defense was sitting on the bench with that
Well,
high of
yeah.
a score,
Yeah,
man,
they
on
were.
both sides.
Yeah, I was
It
having a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
I was having a heart attack. So they're saying that the game of the week this week is going to be Baylor versus West Virginia. I don't see it. They're saying that Baylor may be the best team in the Big 12.
That's my husband's all sick 'em.
Yeah, I mean,
Gung-ho.
it's a good reason. They're
Yeah.
Go
saying,
Bears! Isn't that it? They have like some bear claw thing.
Well, I
Go-
mean-
go
Si-
Bears!
No, it's sick 'em.
Sick 'em?
Sick 'em Bears.
well, they're
Yeah.
saying, in all seriousness, that's what they're saying.
I know.
They're
Oh,
saying
trust me.
that that's the
I
case.
live with a Baylor graduate.
So
I know.
Kansas State. Remember I said that the Kansas State-Oklahoma game is going to be a joke and Oklahoma's just going to smash them? Wow, JP gets to kiss his own butt on this one. Number 18, Oklahoma, well, now number 18, loses to Kansas State 38-35. So my hat's off to the Cougars out there. Great job in Kansas to take down Oklahoma. Auburn slips by Kentucky 29-13. And again, another game I said that would be a good game to watch. Pittsburgh versus Louisville. Didn't let anybody down. 23-20. Pittsburgh does maintain, but barely. And then here's another big upset. And I don't remember if I picked this one, so I don't think I've got to take and eat any crow on this one. LSU was ranked number 6.
Right.
Mississippi State comes in and smokes them 44-34.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mike Leach, showing what the Bulldogs have got. Mike Leach, wherever that guy goes, that guy wins. Texas Tech can tell you that. And so Cincinnati beats up on Army, which takes Army out of the rankings, 24-10. Georgia spanks Arkansas, no shock there, 37-10. A game that was actually kind of interesting. Number 2 Alabama taking on Missouri. Score was 38-19. I kind of figured it'd be a runaway, and it wasn't. University of Miami, no shock there, beats up on Florida State, 52-10. Tennessee barely. Remember I said this would be a game of the week? Tennessee just slips by South Carolina 31-27. And then, of course, we can't not mention the Texas A&M Aggie core. Did you see them walking into the stadium?
I did. I don't watch TV.
So I got
they
some of the
do?
pregame. Well, they lined up. I mean, they were in cadence. They were.
That's cool.
They looked way good
That's
walking
cool.
into the stadium.
I dig that.
I
That's
dig.
neat.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, I will say this. I became an Aggie fan when I was 22 years old. A friend of mine called me and said, hey, you got to come down to Bryan and do yell practice with us. And I'm like, I can't stand the Aggies. He goes, it doesn't matter if you like them or not. Just come down and do this with us. So I show up at the stadium with my buddy, and there is 100,000 people. Capacity, that stadium, there couldn't fit another human being in that stadium.
Right.
Lights were off. Just the mood lighting was on, right?
Oh,
And
they've got their school spirit's amazing.
are you ready for
Yeah.
this? You could have lit 10 cities with the energy that came out of Bryan College Station.
It's
that night.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you really could hear a pin drop. How
Yes.
quiet it gets with
Yes.
100,000. You would
That's
never think
amazing.
100,000
Yeah,
people
I'm
are
that's
going to be
getting
that quiet.
goosebumps, right? I mean, I'm driving out of there. I'm whooping things and I'm screaming and yelling.
And you're a UT fan.
I'm a huge.
Yeah,
are you
so,
kidding
I
me?
mean, this
Are you
goes,
kidding me?
This goes against
So,
your nature.
but-
1 year.
And they beat LSU that game. That was their opening game with LSU.
So 1 year.
Is Dr. Dave in the waiting room? By the
He
way,
is. He is.
All right, let's
When we
get
were
Dr. Dave
when
in.
we were doing, there was a midnight yell New Year's Eve when the Cotton Bowl parade. Cotton Bowl used to be played on January
New Year's,
1st.
right.
We did midnight yell New Year's Eve in downtown Dallas.
Oh, wow.
That was amazing.
That's cool.
That was amazing.
Now that's cool.
Let's get Dr. Dave on.
Hey guys,
Dr. Dave, good morning. How are
Hello,
you?
Dr.
good
Dave.
morning.
Do we have a video or just audio?
No.
Doggone it.
I just dropped the kids off from school, so drive home.
Okay.
Listen here, Mr. Handsome Charming. You have got to get prepped. I can't get you set up with hot women if you do not get on the screen.
Yeah, it's got to be another day than a Friday for that.
Well, how about Mondays? We're doing Medical Monday.
Yeah, we need you on
Medical
Medical
Mondays?
Mondays.
Medical Monday.
Yeah, I could probably do this Monday actually.
Well, good. Let's do this Monday with you. But we got a picture of Dr. Dave anyway. See how handsome he is? And he didn't put on the COVID 25 like I did. The 2,500 I put on. So Dr. Dave looks good. So Dr. Dave, we're talking college football. Any surprises? Did you get to catch any college football this weekend?
Oh yeah, it was great. Mostly Texas Tech. You know, we're talking all of our home teams. Texas Tech, had a great game versus UT. Especially the week before, they barely got by basically a Division II school. So it was nice to see them hang. But of course, they messed it all up at the end, and your Longhorns prevailed.
Yeah, sorry. Well, Ellinger, you got to give it to Ellinger. Ellinger did the job. You know, it was a true test. I will give this. Texas Tech truly tested whether or not that quarterback had the mettle to be able to pull it out at the end. And so hats off to the Texas Tech offense for challenging the UT defense, and hats off for the offense for being able to keep up with Sam Ellinger and the Longhorn offense. So I'll give it to your squad.
I'll never forgive Texas Tech for letting go of the guy you were talking about just a little bit ago, Mike Leach. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just amazing, and he might be quirky and weird, and but I think Lubbock regrets what they did, or at least I hope they do.
Well, I do too. I mean, that's why I was telling you. I mean, Mississippi State goes in and plays LSU. LSU is ranked number 6 in the country.
and Mike Leach hands it to him. And I don't think that Mike Leach and the Mississippi State Bulldogs ever thought for a moment they were not going to take down LSU. You know what? That's just what Leach brings.
Yeah, he makes you believe. And his whole career, I was reading about that he would always just kind of trash talk the SEC. He always respected them, but he would say, you're nothing special. You got 11 players and you can move around just like anybody else. And, he finally got there and did it. So, but with Mike Leach history, they're going to flop next week. Watch.
No kidding. Playing, they'll play big against LSU. They're going to play Tulane and get beat by Tulane by 400 points. Yeah, I agree. All right, so week 5, let's pick them together, Dr. Dave. So LA or La Tech versus BYU. BYU is ranked number 22 in the country. Who do you take for that? They're at BYU, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I like them at home. Definitely go with BYU.
BYU. Sounds good to me. Kathy, how about you? You going BYU or La Tech?
I haven't paid enough attention to even have a pick. Enough. You two go at this.
All right, we'll knock it out of the park quickly. South Carolina almost creates an upset this weekend, but loses just barely. Takes on number 3 Florida, but that is at Florida, Dr. Dave.
I hate to keep going with the favorites, but how do you go against Florida there?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, they rolled over Florida State like it was nobody's butter, and so I've got to go with Florida as well. I think it's going to be a great game. South Carolina, again, I think is a better football team than their non-ranking, but I'm going to go with Florida as well. All right, here we go. My Horns taking on TCU down in Austin.
I'll let you pick this one.
And let's hear the shocking.
Horns.
Wow.
Sam Ellinger is going to throw for 7 touchdowns.
I think TCU
and embarrass
good again this
TCU.
year,
No, they're
they?
not. No.
Oh, they're not. Okay.
Iowa State walked in and beat them at home. No, they're not. All right, Tennessee, Missouri. Now, Missouri gave Alabama a decent game. This is in Tennessee. Tennessee's ranked number 21.
We got to take one upset, right? Let's go. What's our next one after this? We got to take at least one upset.
Well, you got Tennessee, Missouri, then we got North Carolina State and Pittsburgh, and then
it's hard to. Yeah.
I'm taking.
Let's go with Missouri.
I'm taking Missouri, Dr. Dave. Tennessee barely squeaked by South Carolina. Missouri put 19 points up against Alabama. Alabama was only able to put 38 points up against the Missouri defense. And so I'm going with Missouri as well. Tennessee goes down.
I like it, yeah.
All right, NC State takes on Pitt. Pitt's ranked number 24 in the country right now. Pitt had a tough game last week with Louisville. Does North Carolina State have anything in their bag of tricks where they can take down Pittsburgh?
I don't know much about North Carolina State this year, but I always seem to like them more because of the basketball. But I tend to, let my basketball love spill over to the football teams too. So, do you know anything about NC State?
Yeah, they suck. They would get my Kiss My Butt award.
Right, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but it just is.
We'll go Pittsburgh then.
Yeah, let's go Pitt. Good idea. Number 25, Memphis takes on SMU at home. Could that be an upset in the making?
Ooh, SMU is getting better every year.
See, and I agree. And they're home in Dallas. I'm going to take SMU against Memphis. I'm taking the Mustangs. All right. Number 12, University of North Carolina taking on Boston College. Boston College not ranked. Boston College doesn't have Doug Flutie back there. They'd probably be better off, even if they had 60-year-old Doug Flutie.
Not Boston College.
Yeah,
Definitely
we're going
UNC.
South Florida versus Cincinnati. That's in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's ranked 15th.
Yeah, Cincinnati's nasty, especially at home.
Yep, I'm going to take Cincinnati as well. Here's probably the game of the week. Number 13, Texas A&M they're going into the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Alabama still ranked number 2.
Oh man, they just don't have a good history versus Alabama.
But it's COVID
every year
it
seems it's hyped and we think they have a chance. What?
But is COVID year their year? Can A&M go in and COVID-19 them?
Is that now a verb?
He's going to say no.
Yeah,
you just got COVIDed.
So who you taking, Dr. Dave?
I'm going to stick with Alabama.
I'm going to go Texas A&M on you, Dr. Dave. I'm going to say Texas A&M's defense is going to show up, and they're going to slow down Alabama enough for the offense to take it by 3.
Wait.
Maybe if he's at home.
You got to take that hat off to say that.
No. I'm leaving the hat on. Hook 'em horns. Dr. Dave, Auburn versus Georgia. Number 7 versus number 4. Auburn's going to cross the border and head into Georgia. That's going to be another game of the week right there.
Yeah, but they lost their quarterback this year. Right? I don't know how their new guys doing. So I'd just go with Georgia.
I'm going to go with Georgia as well. And then we're going to round out with Mississippi State versus Arkansas. And Arkansas is going to walk into Mississippi State. Does Mike Leach lose to a hapless Arkansas after pounding LSU?
It'll be close, but they won't lose.
All right. We're going to both take.
It'll be a little bit disappointment, but.
Right. We're going to both take Mississippi State on that game as well. So, Dr. Dave, thanks for participating in the college football pick of the week.
Thanks
Sounds
for
like
getting
you
me
need to
off
do
the
something.
hook.
Do something like
parlay it all.
college football madness.
Put
to
it all
replace
down. Put your house down.
The March Madness.
Put your house
stuff.
down. Dr. Dave says put your house down.
Put your house down.
So, speaking about put your house down, Dr. Dave, you were a on-site medical doctor for the NBA in the NBA Finals last year. And so you have been around the players, you've been around the league, you understand the rules. You know, people get glorified when they hear professional football, professional basketball, professional baseball, when in fact it's work. And there's not a lot of glorification that goes on within the system itself. It's not as stars and lights and all of that. It's a lot of hard work. To get the bubble where it was at for the NBA and the NHL, where they seem to have gotten it right, no COVID-19 cases reported. How do you do that, Dr. Dave? And what had to go into it? And then what are the players and the doctors going through?
Or is it just luck of the draw?
No, it's definitely not luck. And you can tell the difference between what JP just said, the NBA and the NHL versus MLB and the NFL. And the two big differences are the bubbles. It took, months of planning the bubble and extensive, research and planning on who stays where and different levels of entrance to get in. And once you're in, you stay in, and who gets tested when, how many times a day. Some people are tested every day or twice a day. And some people, lower level employees are just tested every other day. There's just so much that went into it. But the biggest thing was once you go in, you don't go out. And once you go in, everybody quarantined for 2 weeks and was tested. So they made sure that there was no way something could come in and infect somebody. And the difference with the NHL and baseball is the traveling. And, no matter how secure you want to make things for traveling, it just puts too many opportunities for risk. Whether you're flying private or charter or, a regular plane, you still have transportation. You still have to check into places for hotels. That usually means that your meals are being provided by someone else because you're not able to control that. And there's just more opportunities for catching the virus. And, I understand why they did it, at least for football. I think in baseball, they could have had some kind of bubble in a few cities. But football is just, with the nature of the game, it would be hard to bubble it. But, man, it's, with the first game just already being canceled and the outbreak that's happening with the Titans, you wonder, as close quarters as those guys are in the practice stadium, in the practice field, on the game field, if this proliferates, if they keep, if it spreads and the numbers go up just with those two teams, are we going to have a pause in the season or the season canceled? I sure hope not. But the NFL was the one I was most worried about.
So, Dr. Dave, how does the NFL go forward? Has Roger Goodell released yet what's going to happen with the Texans games and the Vikings game? Because I haven't seen anything.
I think the Texans and Vikings so far are still on because nobody's tested positive on the Vikings side, but we know Tennessee was canceled. They revised some of the protocols, and I wasn't too impressed with it, but it's really, what else can they do? If you're going to travel, there's not much else you can do. Now they're making their players wear masks the whole practice,
and I heard
making
that,
the players wear masks on the sidelines. I don't see how that's going to help with football. I mean, you're breathing hard. If you're going to breathe hard, it's going to go through a mask unless you're wearing an N95, and they're not going to be wearing an N95 and practicing. And, if you were just out on the field breathing on somebody, I don't think putting a mask on the sideline is going to help. So, but they also have now instituted testing on game days. They were being tested 6 days a week, every day but game day. And now I think they're being tested on game day. So those have been the kind of the major changes, but it's going to take a lot of diligence from the players themselves throughout the week. So if they're not in a bubble, I'm guessing they're allowed to go home, and that's where things can also go south. So with the bubble, those guys are living there. And I'm guessing with the NFL, they're not living in certain quarters. That might be something they need to institute. Maybe they travel, but they keep them in a bubble when they're not playing and when they're not traveling. So if they're going home, you can catch it from anywhere.
Well, because your kids, if you're going home to extended family. Maybe your wife has a job out of the home, or she, or the kids are back, a couple of days a week in school, or maybe you have, an elder. You're right. Somebody's going to the grocery store somewhere.
Or the Cowboys still at the Omni.
Stopping by a restaurant on the way home, fast food, whatever it may be. The possibilities are endless. And with the NBA, they had one player who left the bubble, and they made an example out of him quick.
Right.
That's for the day-to-day living. So if they're not stopping their day-to-day living, it's going to happen again.
So here's the question. What kind of strain does the bubble put a strain on the players and the medical staff?
Oh, yes. So my medical director, I check in with him. Again, I was supposed to go to the bubble, and we were going to be rotating 10-day shifts, and I had taken off 2 weeks to go. And then the NBA got stricter and said, once you're in, you're in. They're going to let the doctors rotate at 6 weeks. And I was going to take off my ER job for that, but I wasn't going to leave my kids for 6 weeks.
No, that's just too much.
So I declined it. And the guys that have been there, they're keeping their spirits up, but it's very, very busy, number one, because they're not just taking care of the players, but they're taking care of everybody in the NBA, every staff member. There's thousands of them there, and they all have to be tested too. So there's stress as far as that, not being able to leave, not being able to see family, eating the same kind of foods every day. But they're a part of something special, and I'm kind of jealous about that. They're a part of bringing, the first, real professional sports back and putting out a good product. I'm always proud of what the NBA does as far as putting out a good product and doing it right. I know there's been some talk, on the show about the social justice they do. But, when you think about the NBA versus other leagues, the players are pretty tame. You don't see a lot of them in the news for bad things. Right. And they seem to get things right with how they run their business.
So, Dr. Dave, switching over to MLB, it looks like baseball did finally calm everything down. I don't know that I've heard of a COVID-19 case now from probably the first 2 or 3 weeks of baseball. And so what does it take to not be in a bubble and to be able to maintain? I mean, what kind of chaos does that cause, like with the NFL as well?
I think it's mostly contact tracing and making sure your team is, going straight home and limiting anything they're doing. And if they're not, they have to, really watch that person and trace who they were around. I haven't followed baseball as much, so I'm not really sure what they did after the outbreaks occurred. But I would guess it had to do more of what we were just talking about, is really making sure players are either at work or at home.
Well, I'll tell you, I just know that it's good to be able to catch professional sports back on TV for the American people. It seems like it is something that helps with depression and anxiety. It's escapism,
and it's something to look forward to. Again, life as we know it shut down back in March, and obviously I know you look primarily at the physical medicine end of it, but I think financially and I think emotionally, I think for our mental health, I think we have not even seen the tip of the iceberg as far as how bad it's going to get and the fallout from COVID. So, and sports, like them or not, that's part of American pop culture. It's part of who we are. It's a huge part of who we are.
It is. And at first I was really worried that I would be, depressed and bored without sports for so long, because every summer I usually get that way. But, there were so many other things to focus on that, me and some other friends that are really into sports thought, it wasn't as bad as we thought. We're glad it's back.
Right.
But, it did better than we thought. We found interest in other things. And, for me, the NBA finals, I'm excited for it. I don't want LeBron to win. And I'm going to just say if he wins, he's got an asterisk. Sorry, this was not your normal season.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I'm a
college,
double asterisk.
my daughter's in college this year. I want them to keep it up. I want her to experience, college football games, college basketball games, rallying behind your teams and being excited about something. So that's really, to me, what it's all about. So I hope, if anything lasts, I hope it's collegiate sports.
Well, and they're doing a good job on the college level of keeping these kids and adults socially distanced in the stadium.
As best they can, because how do you keep college? Yeah, I remember college. I had a good old time. How do you keep kids socially distanced there?
They're not. I've visited BC Tech a couple times. They try, but those kids,
they're getting together.
The schools go down on them. If they see anything on social media, like she's in a sorority, and if they see anything, posted without a mask around other people, they're out.
Oh,
wow. They're tough on them. But if in the school is the same way, but there's the vast majority aren't in something that's going to keep them accountable except for themselves. And there's still plenty of parties going on at every school, and that seems to be where the outbreaks are occurring in the schools. But they are doing a good job. The fact that we have universities going the way they are with not huge outbreaks is great.
Huge. That's good news.
Well, and I've always
the fact
said,
is there's very few hospitalizations and deaths in that age group.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I've said just raise the drawbridges and the walls when college starts, and don't let them out. Let them all do what they're going to do. Get all COVID-19'd up, and then they'll be fine by the end of the semester. And then you can take the drawbridge back down and the walls back down.
There you go.
Escape from New York, right? Just
they're
Manhattan and shut down the bridge.
They're college kids. Open up the streets for parties. Bring in food trucks. Let them do their thing. I mean, that's what they do at Oxford. I mean, come on.
What about class, JP?
Well, we'll do some of that too.
You gotta get a little bit of that.
Hey, college is all about the experience, not
you really
the academia.
don't have to start paying attention till your junior year when you get into your core classes for your major.
You don't learn anything until you get out of college.
I'll tell you how to
I mean,
navigate
hey,
college.
doctors, they're practicing, right?
Right. I mean, look at Dr. Dave. He's practicing.
He needs work.
We don't hold you back on the weekends, Dr.
We
Dave,
love you,
Mr.
Dr. Dave.
Boatman
Take
on
care
Lake
of yourself.
Texoma.
Yeah, take care of yourself
Thanks,
and stay
guys.
healthy, please.
Hey, Dr. Dave, Medical Monday, buddy. You got it?
Catch us Monday.
Yeah,
we want you
sounds
on
good.
Monday.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Dr. Dave,
right.
thanks again. Dr.
Have
David
a good
Derrigan.
one.
All things we need to know about emergency medicine starting right there. We want to thank him for showing up and being a part of JP, Kathy, and the crew, and as he has been for a long time. Let's go ahead and get to baseball very quickly because we're running out of time. The Yankees and Indians faced off. The Yankees win 10-9. That was on Wednesday. And so the Yankees will take on the Rays on game 1 of the division series. That's going to be October the 5th. Time has not been determined yet. How about this? How about for the first time in MLB history, you have a team with a losing record that gets into the division series after blanking they go 2-0.
Yeah, 2020 is just going to go down in the books as the craziest.
They send the Twins home packing. They're 31-31, and they're in the division series facing off with the Athletics. And I hope that the Athletics get absolutely smoked.
What was the team you said that's 31-31?
Astros.
The
Astros. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh. Of course, Coach Quigley and I don't agree on this. I'm a huge Dodgers fan. He not so much. The Dodgers will wait to see who they face off with.
He's Astros all the way.
And then the Atlanta Braves, they break in to the division series as well. And of course, they're waiting to see who they will play as well. The Marlins and the Cubs, they're getting ready to do their thing, and so we'll see if they get to make it into the division series or not. And then the Cardinals and the Padres, they face off today. They're tied 1-1 at 6:08 p.m. And if you want to catch the Marlins and the Cubs, they face off at 1:08 p.m. today. So, just a lot going on in sports. I mean, didn't even get to cover the NBA. Just talked about the medical side of it and sports medicine with Dr. Dave.
Which is fascinating because it's such a component of sports nowadays. So it just bizarre. I mean, this time last year, would you ever thought we'd be talking about sports this way and everything would be going on? Like you had the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, and MLB all going on at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, and covering postseason.
Yeah, just
well,
crazy.
I noticed something there, Judge. You were saying,
yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge. Is the you've got the Washington?
Yeah, the Washington.
But now you still have Cleveland Indians and the
still
Atlanta
Indians.
Braves.
Yeah, well, and the Braves aren't changing, by the way.
And we shall see. They've made a statement on that.
Well,
didn't
we've talked about that.
Yeah.
So the Braves actually has a foundation set up that works with American Indian groups.
Very good.
And has supported their culture, supported their
and
arts
so it's part of
for a long
who
time.
They are and nonprofit wise and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and the Indian population has embraced the Atlanta Braves for all of their community work.
Very good.
And so the Braves are not getting rid of the tomahawk chop, and they are not getting rid of the Braves. And the American Indian groups don't want them to.
Right.
So there you go.
That's interesting. That's such a different take. Anyways, and boy, we could talk about that next Friday. We might talk about that a little more.
We do want to go out with.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold my PPE till next week. Let's hold it till next Friday. But I do want to go out with a celebration of life.
Just
And Kathy,
two
with that,
amazing
I'm going to turn that
talents.
right over to you.
Yeah, thank you, JP. Two of my favorites. If you were a music fan in the early '70s, and boy howdy, I was. These are just two stellar, amazing talents that you can't go without mentioning. Both Helen Reddy and Mac Davis passed away day before yesterday, both at the age of 78, and just a huge loss to the music community. Mac Davis, singer, songwriter. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. One of the best songs ever. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble. And it's interesting. He also is, for as great of a singer as he was, and he was all kinds of sexy in the 70s. He was an amazing songwriter. Wrote a little more conversation, a little less action. A little more conversation.
Little more conversation, a little less conversation,
a
little more action,
That's
please.
it. Thank you. I always get that mixed up. Wrote that for Elvis Presley in a movie when Elvis was looking for some new types of songs to come into his movies. Also wrote Memories that Elvis sang on one of his comeback tours. Wrote one of my favorite Elvis Presley songs, and a song that has such profound lyrics even to this day, and that is In the Ghetto. So Mac Davis, may you rest in peace, just an amazing talent. And then for me as a young girl, back in the early 70s when Helen Reddy, she sang some of my favorite songs, Delta Dawn, Ruby Red Dress.
Dawn.
Yeah, Angie Baby. But she sang my ultimate anthem song before I knew what an anthem song was when I was a little girl. And it's something that even I used to sing with my daughter Emily back when she was young. And that is I Am Woman. And it was just such a strong statement on women and what they're able to do. And kind of that was the age of when women were coming into their own in this country. And it's interesting because she left, and Dr. Good reminded me about this. She left. She had all these number one hits. I think she tied the Beatles for a record back in the 70s as far as many number one hits as she had. And she was this icon for this whole women's movement. And yet in the middle of this hugely successful music career, left to go back and raise her kids. You didn't hear, now obviously she came back around and toured and stuff, but all of these great number one hits kind of stopped in the 70s, early 70s. She was home raising her kids. So anyways, amazingly talented woman, one of my favorite voices of all time. I just, so rest in peace, Helen Reddy. And thank you for all of the great karaoke singing that has followed in my life.
Well, go back to Mac Davis. I mean, who didn't want to be this guy in the 70s?
Oh, dude, he was so, there's a great.
I mean, everybody wanted to be this guy.
Okay, the two videos that I pulled up to watch after I'd heard that both of them had passed.
Of course, Chambriel's going, you people are really old.
Yeah. She's like,
guy?
Who are these? Yeah, she's
like,
okay.
I don't
That's
think
all
that
right.
I care to see that.
No,
guy.
there's a great. Go and look up the Midnight Special. There's a 1971 of Helen Reddy singing "I Am Woman." It's that show, the Midnight Special, which was a great show back in the day. And then and she's all decked out in her 70s gear, and she looks great. And then there's a Mac Davis 1971 performance or 1972 on the Midnight Special. He's got on his blue jean jacket, his blue jeans, his blue jean shirt, chops down to here, big old afro perm that he had that was just so great. And he looked divine.
Drove the
so
woman
if you want to go
crazy.
back and see those two in their heyday.
He's the reason why I wear my
back in
shirt
the
down so my
day.
chest hair shows.
Oh, please.
And
no.
I even
and
take
he,
a little,
he did. He had the big gold.
He
check.
did. And I wear.
Yeah.
Don't say please. Look at this. This is hot. That's hot.
No.
And so then what I do
Censor
is,
it. Censor
no,
it.
See what I do is I do that with my button-down shirt and I spray it with a water bottle so it glistens.
Oh.
Because I want to be like Mac Davis, man.
Oh, no.
No?
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Two amazing talents.
amazing talents,
Two
yep.
amazing talents.
Well,
May they both rest
I
in
want
peace.
to end today's show in prayer. Leon has fallen ill.
Yes.
He's doing better. He's recovering.
Yep.
But I'd like to lead us in prayer
Yeah.
This morning. And
pray for the president
Well, that's what
and
I'm
the first
saying.
lady as well.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. It's
yeah.
time, and
Yep.
we need to do this.
Yep.
And so, if I could, everybody take either a moment of silence. You may not agree with how I believe, which is fine with me, just as long as you've got something you can go on to. But a moment of silence, or follow us in prayer. If you'll bow your heads with me, please, Lord, please watch over all of those children of yours in this big world as COVID-19 ravages through the world, and it's come and hit us close here at home with our friends and family, with our president and our first lady. Lord, we ask that you take all of those that are a part of your home, which is this big world, and we ask that you bless them with your forgiveness. We all know that we are sinners, and we ask that you forgive us for all the things that we have done against your word. And we're just human, and you know we're just human, and we love you and we embrace you, and we ask that you pass on those blessings the same back to those. And for those who have gone through poverty and exist currently in that type of scenario, help lift them up, Lord, and let them see your blessings as well. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank
Great
you.
prayer.
Well, thank you for engaging
We love
me
the
on
crew.
that. So,
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right.
We love you to the crew. Have a blessed
have a
weekend.
blessed weekend,
Mwah.
and we will see you on Saturday at 8 a.m. with Kilroy's Conversation with
Oh.
Chuck Wright and Major
You and I will
Andrew
be back here
White.
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
That's
morning, yeah.
right.
Kathy, we are about to go 7 days a week. Ugh.
Oh, my goodness.
But we want to tell you to tune in, and then also get ready. We're gearing up for a telethon that's going to be coming your way on Veterans
yes,
Day.
yes,
And we're going to need you to
yes.
grab your phone, come on up to studio, and help us
Want you to
dial
be part
for dollars.
of it. Part
Yep.
of it.
Don't forget lunch today on us, coming up to Venture X here in Frisco, and enjoy lunch. Have a blessed weekend. We will see you tomorrow
Love y'all.
morning at 8 o'clock.